welcome back to the podcast, guys. As you can tell, I'm not alone today. I got a guest on board for the first time, first guest ever on the podcast. So congratulations, man. The honor is all yours.
I am super excited. This is a privilege.
Exactly. So for you guys who've been following along the journey for a long time here on YouTube, social media, you've probably seen this guy around. He is my best man, my best friend, my secret lover, my everything.
We've been friends for forever, man.
Yeah, exactly. So he just flew in from Dubai yesterday, and he's gonna spend a couple days here in Barcelona, where I currently live. So we decided, why not pick up the microphones and just do a fun podcast? Because to be honest, like when I'm doing podcasts by myself, it's kind of hard to be yourself in a way, because it's unnatural, right? You're talking to a camera, or you're talking to yourself with a microphone in your hand. It's not really natural. So I think having you on board today is gonna open up the format a little bit more, and you guys are gonna get to see more of the real me, how I interact with real human beings as well. So that's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be dramatic. Like literally last week you were like, "Hey Sergi, you want to do a podcast, but like from a distance?" Like I was gonna film myself from Dubai, and then Yash, I'm like, "Oh, by the way, I'm here. Let's do a podcast." So
it worked out perfectly.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah, so we asked Instagram yesterday, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. Just search my name there, and also follow Sergi. Got a little plug in there.
Oh, nice.
Exactly. So we asked for some ideas of what to talk about, because we're trying to think about how to approach this podcast in a very interesting way, but a very unusual way. Maybe talk about things that don't really get talked about at all. Yeah. And our idea was gray areas, in particular within the vegan world or veganism. Yeah. Gray areas.
I think that a podcast where it excels is the ability to debate and kind of brainstorm and think of ideas and kind of just go back and forth. Because if we talk about the same thing that everyone's already heard about, it gets kind of repetitive. I think that gray areas is a great topic because it's 100% going to be controversial, and there's going to be a large amount of people that are going to be with one side. The other people are going to be on the other side. It's not about being right or wrong. It's just kind of about thinking things through. And just talking. I mean, it's a podcast. It's like a natural conversation between you and me when we're not filming. It's like literally 100%. When we're in the car. This is supposed to be just us talking, people listening, and then you guys leaving your thoughts about what we're talking about. So
yeah, and I think you already know, Sergi, but I've kind of been a little bit more frustrated than usual lately because of a lot of the things that have happened within the vegan movement. There's a lot of controversy, a lot of drama, a lot of hate, a lot of bullying, a lot of people calling each other really childish names. Yeah. And it's become this weird thing that I haven't really experienced in the last 4 years of us being, vegan and within, this movement. So it's something completely new. And I think that, it brings out the worst in people, when someone fails on the vegan diet and they come out saying they start eating animal products, the amount of hate and the amount of controversy that is brought along with that is just insane, man. There is so much hatred, negativity, and I've been really, focusing on how to, convey these ideas in a non-judgmental, non-aggressive way that the actual average person can understand and not be so afraid of what they see on the internet. When you look at the internet, man, like you look at social media and you're not a vegan, you've never been introduced to the lifestyle or the idea in general, you look from the outside and you see this hate and this bullying, and people are just like, wow, I'm definitely never going to take part in that.
Well, that's why I guess social media is the way it is. People are always talking about how social media is a bit like fake and stuff. It's in a way, a lot of people are forced to kind of be fake because people get so outraged so quickly. Yeah. Like the second that you do something that people don't agree with, they just 100%. Lose it. I mean, I think that with social media, you really do have to, at the end of the day, make content for yourself and be happy and do what you enjoy doing. Not falling into this trap where you end up making content based on what your following is asking for, right? Because then you end up kind of imprisoning yourself. Exactly. And you have to continue to kind of obligate yourself to make content for yourself, regardless of whether you think it can offend someone, because it's always going to offend someone. And some people are going to take it way more personally than others. I think that in general, social media is a platform where you can really spread certain messages, but you have to be careful with kind of what you're doing.
Yeah,
in a
100%.
way, like even if you don't want to, you kind of have to still be careful because some people can take things so personally. I mean, we've seen it everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
we talk about it all the time. The outrage with some things that for us are almost insignificant. But,
Yeah, exactly.
they really take it personally. I mean, just
Perspective is everything, right?
Yeah.
Like one person will take the same situation in a completely different way than someone else, and that's just the way humans work, I guess. And we all have our own little biases and ideologies.
ideologies.
Ideologies, exactly.
Is the word. Yeah.
Yeah, so we all have our very strong opinions about things, and I guess what I'm trying to accomplish with this podcast and these conversations is just eliminating that and just like coming from a completely neutral place and just have a normal conversation without trying to offend anyone, but just
it's gonna
not
be
being
impossible.
afraid. Exactly. We are going
it's
to
fine.
offend a lot of people in this episode.
And-
I'm sorry,
yeah.
but
But it's fine. I mean, it's just the way that it is. And
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people have this kind of obsession with wanting to be right
Yeah.
and wanting to feel good about their decisions and their actions and their
Yeah.
ideologies. So the second that someone disagrees with them, they have to try to convince you that you're wrong and they're right? It's like a monkey behavior. It's like a very primitive, me, I win, you lose,
Exactly.
I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah, no, I this is a pattern that I've seen popping up so much lately, and it's especially strong in the vegan movement. So I guess we should just tackle some of the biggest gray area topics that we've
it's gonna
seen
be fun.
lately, and then we can maybe just elaborate on them, and maybe we come up with something completely new. But I think what would you say is the most common one? Is it? I've seen insects. I've seen
insects.
owning
Oh my
cats and
good-
dogs,
yeah.
carnivorous pets. Things like backyard eggs. There's a lot of different things. Roadkill, clams.
We'll cover this. I think it's actually hilarious because a lot of people that are going to be watching this are not vegan at all, and they have like kind of like no idea
Exactly.
what kind of goes through someone through a vegan's head. And it's kind of funny because you think of like what you said, like insects, and you think that insects, like it's such an insignificant subject, but actually there's a lot of vegans that are hyper conflicted about insects in general. And we've already discussed about this. Like, do you want to start with? Should we just start with insects?
Why not?
Should we just start with insects? Okay, should I go first or should you go first?
You're
And
already on.
I want to say in advance that I'm going to be 100% transparent. Like, the idea of this talk is to say what I actually feel. I'm not going to filter anything, as we said before, about trying to kind of be right or say the right thing.
Yep.
Insects, man, I'm going to be honest. I like I don't eat meat. I kind of stopped eating meat because of ethical reasons. Like I wasn't really, just the entire animal situation was so messed up. But insects, man, like mosquitoes, I do not care at all. Like, I am like the angel of death of mosquitoes. Like, if I see them, man, I'm squishing them nonstop. And I like literally, it's not even that I squish them up. Like, I literally feel satisfied when I kill a mosquito and I know that it's no longer flying in my room. Like, if I'm at 4 a.m. and I hear a mosquito in my room, I cannot fall asleep until that thing is terminated.
You damn speciesist.
Yeah, I know, man. Mosquitoes have souls and whatever and stuff, but man, like, they're like, what are you gonna do? Just gonna let them suck your blood all night and stuff, and then like kind of.
I think a lot of people take veganism way too literally, and everyone's free to do whatever they want and whatever feels right to them, but it doesn't make sense. It's not common sense that you're gonna not protect yourself or not kill mosquitoes or bees that are trying to bite you and that kind of stuff. It's just, to me, it doesn't make any sense. So
what's your deal with insects and stuff? Like, actually, look, a lot of insects, like spiders and stuff, I'm kind of cool with them, whatever. Mosquitoes, I can't stand them. If there's cockroaches, so actually this is going to bring up this is the beauty of podcast, man. So actually, the deal with mosquitoes, or let's say like cockroaches, let's say they have like a cockroach problem in your house and you're a hardcore vegan and you don't want to cause harm on anyone. If you kill that one cockroach, it's eliminated forever. Let's just say, right? If you leave it because you want it to stay alive, then if that cockroach breeds and creates hundreds of cockroaches, then you have a bigger problem because you're going to have to kill hundreds of them, right?
That's a good perspective, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you just get rid of them. Like, if it's actually a problem, right? Like, if you actually have some sort of like, let's say that a cockroach comes out of your kitchen or something, I'm squishing it 100%. And I'm not even thinking about it.
No, I don't feel any empathy for insects at all. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, you should view all life forms as equal and blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't make any sense to do that. How can you feel like how can you feel the same amount of discomfort, seeing a dog have its throat slit or something compared to chopping a worm in half, for example. It's not the same, right?
Chopping a worm.
I've tried.
One thing is killing them, another thing is chopping them up and like torturing them. But
it was a weird. I was a weird kid.
Yeah. I mean, back when you were in first school, man, kids in first grade are crazy, man. Back in first grade in school, man, a lot of the kids that I saw like in my class and stuff, they were 100%. I never been really a fan of torturing bugs and pouring salt on worms and stuff, but a whole lot of kids in my class were, man. Anyways, I don't know,
so does that mean that you would also be okay with eating them? Because I think that is one of the gray areas, because I actually am for insect consumption, especially in in areas.
This is going. It's I can already see people. John is for insect consumption.
Exactly. I'm not a real vegan.
Yeah.
Never was. No, I'm just kidding. No. But yeah, I actually think it's a really good solution for a lot of people, because insects are extremely cheap in a lot of these poorer countries that can't afford meat, animal products, and these a lot of these plant foods they can't get either, right? So they have to get their protein from somewhere, and if they're lacking in protein or calories in general, I think insects could be a potential solution. And they only live for a couple of days anyway. They don't feel pain the same way as other animals do. So I haven't done enough research exactly to know how the production and everything works. But the general idea of it sounds appealing to me.
No, I mean appealing. I'm not the thing is I wouldn't eat a bug more than anything, just because I'm not in the mood for it, right? It doesn't look like it's and either way, I don't know, just it depends on your situation, right? If you really, really need to survive. I mean, honestly, they always put this kind of desert island. If you were in a desert island and you found, there was no water, no food, but there was a piece of fried chicken, would you eat it? Makes no sense and stuff. But honestly, man, if I was ever dropped on a desert island and I really, really had no food and I couldn't eat any plants, everything, and the only thing was like a pig, man, I would drop kick that pig and eat it up. I have to survive. I'm not even kidding. I have to, you have to survive. It all depends on your situation. So if you really only do have, you don't have access to all these kind of plant-based alternatives, and insects really is the way to go, I mean, go for it.
If you are a person that thinks logically, then, I don't think it's possible to believe that you want to starve yourself over, eating an animal. I don't think people would sacrifice their own life for an animal at all. So obviously, 100%, I would probably bite into the pig raw, because if you can't start a fire, you still got to eat. So that'll be messed up. But you got to do what you got to do.
But I think that people that would say no, whatever, they really haven't put themselves in that kind of situation. Yeah. And it's hard to imagine these kinds of situations that you're not really exposed to. But to be honest, at the end of the day, if I didn't have access to a supermarket and the amount of food that I do have access to, I would also be eating meat. It just depends on your situation.
Yeah.
We're kind of lucky. We're actually really lucky that we don't have to go out and fight just to eat every single day.
Exactly. I think it's fine. The camera just went black for a second, but so I think that, I don't think, I know, because we've been friends for such a long time. I know that we have similar approaches and ways of thinking about ethics and how veganism should be portrayed, or how to live a quote unquote vegan lifestyle. And I think veganism has its definitions, and people can pretend that they know what it means exactly, and by definition it's just causing as little harm as practically possible, right? So that can mean so many different things, and you can have a different perspective on it, and even say that a carnivore that only eats a cow, it doesn't eat anything but a cow, is actually causing less harm than someone who's eating a lot of plants and killing a lot of animals indirectly. So there's some people will use that same logic and say, I'm a carnivore, I eat my cow that I grow in my farm, and I just sustain myself on 2 cows per year or something, and I kill 2 lives. What about you?
Yeah.
And it's a good argument, because actually
it is.
Yeah. So some carnivores might be more vegan than us.
No, I mean, literally, no. They're there's just so many levels of I think of everything, not just veganism, but like of everything. Like there's so many levels, and I think that people that are stuck on one level, it's hard for them to understand like another perspective from someone else. So when someone else says something like that, they just can't. They have no idea how that could possibly be true, and they just get defensive. But it is true. And I think that also relates to kind of the situation that, is it off? No, we're good, right?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, we'll take a quick surprise commercial break. Vegan food tours, vegan food tours, vegan food tours. Okay, so I think this also relates back to everything being kind of like people thinking that, you know, this stuff is black and white, where either, you know, you're a vegan or you're a meat eater. Yeah. Or, you know, if like, it's not like a competition where you just like, if you were to consume I don't know, like a piece of cheese or something, that you're now disqualified from the competition. Actually, I think that's what demotivates a lot of people from staying vegan. That the second that they make a mistake, or the second that they feel in this crazy urge to try something, just the amount of backlash that people get, it does kind of demotivate them from staying vegan. You know, screw this. You know, if I, you know, like, no, you can't be vegan. You can't be vegan. You know, you've never been vegan, or you know,
you've never
like
been
vegan,
vegan,
you've only, you know, this the entire time it was a big lie. You know, if you hear that kind of stuff, you're like, you know, I don't want to be around these dickheads either.
You're way less likely to change back after getting that criticism as well, right? Because it gives off this. I think that is why a lot of people from the outside view veganism, or some people at least view veganism as a cult, because people get shamed out, like when they leave, and people who are not in the movement get shamed for, you know, eating meat and that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely, I don't think it's a healthy way to go about it. And I think our approach, our mindset is way more neutral, way more accepting of everyone, and we realize that it's a process that the whole world has to go through, and it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not perfect. Like, you know, there is no perfection, and a lot of people are chasing that, which is, you know, only can lead to disaster. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing though. Like, it is also true that a lot of the people that are more kind of cool and relaxed, and they are like, you know, just people that decide not to eat meat because they just aren't cool with eating meat. A lot of people are like, you know, you don't see them as often, because obviously the angriest comments are the ones that you see the most, and these guys stick together the most. So like for people that are vegan, and they get demotivated and stuff, it is true that there's a very, very, very large amount of people that are 100% on the same page. And then, you know, the people that are not vegan, that kind of see vegans from outside, and they think, you know, these guys are a bunch of psychos. You know, they're running down the street butt naked. You know, they're just screaming, and, you know, they're like, you know, just all the time causing drama. That's what they see, but it's not the entire, you know, reality. At the end of the day, you just, you know, it's just like my point of view is that I don't eat meat. I really, really try to stay away from it. I don't see myself, you know, just because like I have that kind of connection with animals and stuff like that. I don't want to be a part of it. But like, you know, if you know, let's say like if someone, or like if you decide to eat like a piece of cheese or an egg, it doesn't even matter to me. Like
it matters to a lot of people.
Yeah, it matters to a lot of people, but it's not like, you know, like the thing is, what's also true is that I know you on a very kind of personal level. So I think we've already kind of had this conversation that if you were to do something like that, like I still know that your heart's in the right place, and that your intentions are much better than people that are maintaining a perfect, impeccable diet, but have like other messed up shit going on. Right? There's some people that,
a lot of people ignore everything else, right? And just focus on the one thing.
No, for real. There's some people, you know, that they'll be an impeccable vegan, but then they do some really weird stuff. Like, you know, I mean, I can't just say like, you know, they're pedos and stuff like that, or they're doing a certain kind of thing. But there's a lot of people that they try to kind of mask away the weird shit that they do with something that sounds really great. And it's not about sounding good. I think it's about doing what you genuinely believe is the best choice you can make. And I think that in your case, from my experience, you have always tried to do the best possible, or make the best possible decisions in the best interest of everyone. And the same, at least with what I think of myself, is I try to make good decisions that, you know, don't affect others in a negative kind of way. If I just decided right now to eat a piece of cheese and stuff, it wouldn't change. You know, by the way, I also have to say that this is a is the word figurative? No, how would it be? It's like an example, right? I'm not saying right now that we're gonna cut the camera and we're gonna start eating like chicken wings and stuff. I'm saying like in that sense, it's not about kind of trying to stay perfect with anything. It's about kind of keeping your ideas consistent and understanding why you're doing things. I think that's kind of the black and white situation. And that's why we're talking about gray areas, eh?
Yeah. And do you know, this is something that people will never admit to, because I think if you're a vegan admitting to, having tried a piece of animal product or, slipping up, that's the same as, people feel way too guilty to come out with that, right?
Exactly.
They're never going to tell people because they know they're going to be shamed for it. And they already have a bad conscience. They feel bad about themselves.
They would get murdered. Like they would get torched up. Like they're actually they would. A lot of people that do something like that, right? Yeah. They will never say it because
of course not,
because there's this kind of you already expect people to just kind of go crazy on you and stuff.
Exactly. And I know for a fact there's so many people who just they have a piece of something and they realize that the cheese, the little piece of leftover cheese that was on the table before, it being thrown out by the rest of the family, some people will pick that up, taste it just out of curiosity to see if they still like it or if it makes them feel guilty, self-exploration and experimentation, just curiosity in general. I think a lot of people will do that, but no one would ever say anything.
But as I said, like a lot of people they look for this perfect kind of definition where you've never sinned or whatever. You've
exactly.
never, you're just 100% perfect. But that's at the same time, when I meet new people, I don't say I'm vegan, by the way, and stuff. I just literally say, oh, I don't mess around with animals. Like I even try to avoid it altogether. Yeah. Because I try to as I said, I'm in it for my own set of beliefs, and it's not about trying to give myself like this kind of name and categorizing myself on this definition where I'm vegan and this is what I do, and then someone the second they always try to kind of find a flaw in your argument and vegans are wrong, whatever. Like that's kind of like I don't know what just kind of like I say I eat plant-based food and stuff and to some this is why we're talking about gray areas, because actually even if you weren't to eat any, and I mean like anything, any meat, any animal byproducts, you weren't to kill any insects and stuff, there'd still be a bunch of people that would find a way to say that you're not vegan because you're doing this thing wrong.
So, man, I got to ask you, because you're not really that involved in all the vegan drama that is going on on the internet and, this carnivore versus vegan debates and all these crazy things that is going on. It's a mess. It's a war out there.
Yeah. Although I did see James Aspie's podcast, which is on Logan Paul's podcast. That was actually super cool.
That was amazing.
That was super sick. And that's like the only piece I've seen in like ages. But it was really, really good,
Yeah, so you're missing out on a lot, but nothing worth going into because, it's crazy, man. There's dramatic. A lot of hatred, and that's what I want to ask you. Like, what do you think about these big influencers or YouTubers, Instagrammers who quit veganism or, quit being vegan or eating a plant-based diet, whatever you want to call it, and then they announce it and they get the biggest, craziest backlash in the history of the internet? What do you think about that?
I think that the most recent example is Rawvana.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the video. I went straight to the comments, straight to the juice, and I was just shocked, man. Like, first of all, actually, leaving everything to the side, can we just go over how did that even happen? Like, her friend uploaded a vlog. She filmed Rawvana eating a fish. Yeah. Like, she edited it.
How does that even happen?
She did the edit, and then she didn't at any point think like, this is my friend. She has, her entire channel is based on veganism. In my video, she's eating a fish and stuff. Maybe I should just let Rawvana know that this is about to go down, even regardless of whether she's uploading it or not. Like, just by the way, this is gonna happen. Anyways, apart from all
strange.
She so she eats a fish. People lose their mind. Everyone starts going crazy. Does this thing turn off? No, right?
No.
Okay. So she eats a fish. People lose their mind. I think the comments that I saw were so over the top and like ruthless that. It's what we said before. It's demotivating, man. Like, I don't know Rawvana. at all. I don't know her personally. I don't, and much less, I can't even imagine like her actual little bubble, right? And why or what led her to eat a fish. And it's not even that. I mean, dude, it's like, this sounds like the vegan news, man. Rawvana ate a fish and everyone's losing their mind and stuff. But anyway, she ate a fish. People lost their mind, and it's demotivating, man. It's like, people were saying, you know, like, she's never been vegan. She's never cared about veganism.
How does that work after being vegan for like 6 years? How does that work?
She's only been in it for the money, that she is like, you know, and all these like literally direct insults and stuff.
Yeah. Money always comes up. It's like as if going vegan is like a, you know, a guaranteed way to become a millionaire or something. Like, people out there are thinking that, you know, people are going vegan for financial reasons.
Yeah, and these same people, crazy. I don't think that they don't understand that, dude. Making money or having a vegan business literally promotes them. It's what we said before about supply and demand. It literally helps. I mean, you can either try to make a business that's unrelated completely, and you know, you can make a business selling weights or something, or you can do it that still will drive some sort of demand and kind of expand. But anyways, this is an entirely different subject. It goes back to, you know, Rawvana, and you see all these kind of crazy ass comments, people absolutely destroying her and assuming all these things that's impossible to know because nobody knows her except for her and a very close, I guess, circle, right? It's impossible to understand what's going on. But yeah, it's demotivating, man. And this is like, you know, for people to be able to get someone like Rawvana, who's represented veganism for her entire channel, and say that she's never been in it, you know, it's the same kind of, I guess it's related to the same kind of people that, you know, drop meat for like, you know, one day of the week, and everyone is still destroying them. Man, if someone drops meat for like, if they eat 20% less meat, that's a huge win. That's amazing.
It is.
Can you imagine if every single person on the planet reduced their meat intake by 20%? That's insane, man. That's amazing. And absolutely, bro. Like, you'll never hear me saying something negative to someone for eating less meat. Even if they're still eating meat 6 days a week, I have so much respect for them dropping it. And people they just don't realize it. It's like, it's not good enough, right?
Yeah.
It's like
it's a superiority complex, I think. It's like a elitism. It's like, you know, you want to be better than other people, and you know, I guess there is a certain percentage of people that want veganism to be this, you know, I don't know, like abstract concept of very limited amounts of people in it. It's like exclusive. It sometimes seems like a lot of people don't even want this movement to progress at all.
Well, I didn't even realize that this was actually a thing until I spoke with Family Fizz recently.
Right.
And they mentioned how that there was like a group of people that are literally vegan just to be able to say that they're vegan and feel superior. And I had never even considered that. Like, I had never considered that someone would just be vegan just to be able to say, like, I'm kind of better than you, right?
Should you, you know, feel like, you know, you're doing something better than someone else because you're vegan, or should you just
I just don't know why we need to compare ourselves so much, and like, you know, it's the monkey gene, man. I win, you lose. I'm a vegan, I'm better.
It'd be so interesting to know what causes that. Is it like, is it just human nature?
It's biological, like, you know, biological competition where you have to feel superior in some way. I don't know, but it's ridiculous, man. Like, if you're being vegan to one up someone else, that's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Like, and
exactly, and I tell people that being vegan does not make you a better person, even if it for maybe on you know, the animal's perspective, you know, they're not going to be killed because of you directly, maybe, or maybe they will indirectly at the end of the day anyway. But
there's a bunch of psychopath vegans as well. There's crazy ass meat eaters. There's crazy ass vegans. There's crazy ass basketball players. I mean, every group has a group of crazy people, right? I don't judge people either if they eat meat. It's just that they haven't really been informed to the same extent that we have, and it's unfair to judge them.
Yeah, but do you judge people who are informed and are still accepting and okay and in peace with the fact that they're like, you know, killing an animal to put on their plates?
But I think, like, I don't know if I'm weird. I just don't really judge people that much. Like I can make a decision of whether or not, like, you know, the vibe is right.
Exactly.
Like, you know, like, should we continue this conversation? Are they kind of on, like, you know, am I having a good time with them and stuff?
Do they have a good heart and good intentions?
Yeah, but it's not about, like, I'm gonna say like you can't really get to know anyone,
Yeah.
even for years, man. I mean, there's stuff that
Yeah.
you can kind of understand with years of being with someone.
Yeah.
So if someone is informed and they're not making the same decisions as you, you just have to respect and understand that they have their own set of experiences and motives and beliefs and ideologies and everything that leads them to make every action and decision, right? So if they're informed and they still want to eat meat, I mean, okay, like
it's like hunters, right?
whatever.
Like they are actually killing the animals themselves, and they're 100% okay with it. And how can you say that's wrong when it's their truth and they feel it's 100% right for them? Like, dude, it's impossible to judge, based on that, because they know what they're doing and they're 100% in peace with it. So,
and but man, even if this sounds wrong verbally, I understand hunters, man. If you live in the middle of nowhere, like let's say in the real middle of nowhere. And you don't have, like, as I said, I have supermarkets. I go down the street. I get myself a pack of hummus. I get myself, you can go to What the Pete or any things. Free promotion, by the way. You get, you can get like all kinds of meat or fake meat and stuff, and you can get all kinds of different deliciously tasting vegan food. Yeah. If you live in the middle of a mountain, and really, like, you have to survive a winter or something, or you have to actually just survive, right? Yeah. And you have to, kill a giant moose, dude, the amount of meat on that moose will last you ages, right? Yeah. And the thing is that moose still had a free life. He was running around in the fields, and then he ended up getting killed to be consumed for something else to survive, which is in itself kind of the way that a lot of nature works, right? A lion, for me, it's I'm more concerned, or what bothers me more is the animals that are born directly into a caged environment where they've never been given a chance to escape or to survive or fend for themselves, right? If the moose was running around freely and then he gets shot for the consumption, not for fun, obviously fun is a whole different true. Dude, hunters that hunt for fun, man, that's really messed up.
So, man, there is this other gray area that a lot of people sent in, and that is owning pets, and in particular carnivorous pets like cats, and some people consider dogs to be carnivorous as well, although I think they're omnivore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the person to decide this, or like the god, the vegan god
vegan judge
tells you to tell you what's right and what's wrong. For me, personally, I'm gonna be very quick. I wouldn't even be concerned with whether your dog or cat is vegan or not. Like, obviously you can try to do things to the best of your ability, but if your cat's eating meat, I mean, I think that you can clearly see that cats and dogs are more carnivorous than we are. And even just the way that a cat would react.
There are actually vegans who are trying to feed their cats vegan cat food, though.
I mean, that's fine, I guess. I don't really know. I don't know anything about that subject, like whether or not the cat can be healthy. It probably can be, and that's fine. Like, actually, my dog was vegan for a long time, not because I said you're gonna be vegan now, but literally because my mom took him to a vet, and he had some sort of digestive problem, so we put him on some vegan food for a while. I don't know, my dog eats like crazy, though. He eats trash everywhere, so his digestive problem is probably related to the crap that he's eating. Yeah, but anyways, I mean. Yeah, for me, it's not really even something that I think we should, or not think, like, just, going super deep into it. What do we know, man?
Yeah, I mean, in the list of priorities, it will be at the bottom for me as well. I don't think, the pet industry and this whole thing, like the breeders and everything, of course, there are problems related with that and a lot of bad stuff going on. But I don't think it's something that if you're a vegan you should feel ashamed of giving your pets the food that they actually need to survive and thrive, right? Because you got him in the first place, so you better take care of your pet and provide for his needs or her needs. So absolutely no problem. I don't have a problem with vegans owning cats who eat exclusively meat. I wouldn't do it myself because it's a pain in the ass to take care of pets, and it's expensive, and it's a lot of people have pets and they're not good owners, and that's probably the majority of people by far. And I just don't know.
you're kind of more deciding for something else, right? Like you're deciding like, you know, the dog doesn't really have an opinion to make. He literally can't talk.
Exactly.
So if you're deciding for him, as good as your intentions may be, as I said, we don't know anything about this subject, but it could be that you're actually doing more harm to your dog without even knowing it, regardless of studies and all that stuff. Like, we can't really know. The dog, even if it's fantastic for him, but it tastes terrible, that in itself is kind of a torture. It's like eating jail food every day. Can you imagine?
Why do you think people try to, you know, put vegan or the term in a box and this lifestyle in a box, and you know there's only black and white and no gray areas, nothing's, you know, acceptable apart from such and such dogmatic views. I think it's really dangerous, and I think a lot of people have started to realize this and are distancing themselves from those dogmatic beliefs.
This obsession with trying to be perfect and maintaining this perfect idea, first of all, scares others into kind of talking about it. At the same time, it's kind of poisonous. I think that people really need to make an effort to just be the best kind of person that they can be, make the best decisions, take into account your professional life, your social life. Don't let it ruin you professionally. Don't go broke because you're vegan, right? Don't lose all your friends because you're vegan, right? If you're going to be vegan, do it to the best of your ability. Do whatever you want to do, and just try to live by, you know, kind of ride that wave, but don't let it enclose you into this crazy, like, you know, you've sinned and now you're disqualified from the vegan community and you have to explain your way back, and everyone's like, well, you know, the doctor told me I was unhealthy, like really trying to explain it and stuff. Like, bro, you just I don't know, man. To me, it's not that important. Like,
it's like those people who, you know, feel like they're not, you know, doing the animals justice, so they will wake up every single morning and watch animal slaughter footage to remind themselves of how horrible it is. And you know, I think people have the right to do whatever they want, right? But there is no way that is a healthy, or at least not the optimal way to approach a healthy state of mind.
Well, it's because it's also true that, you know, if you really focus on all the problems in the world, and you really do understand the gravity of all the problems that there are in the world, if you decide to focus on them, you'll never be a happy person.
You'll be depressed.
Incredibly depressed. And that in itself is a problem, because you won't have the energy to be able to positively talk about these topics with other people. You're going to be so depressed that you're going to stay locked up, and you're going to, like, kind of just, it's almost like a kind of mental suicide, man. Like, if you decide, and as I said, this, I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, right? If you are waking up every morning and watching these horrific videos, of course it's going to make you eat less meat, but it is going to kind of, I mean, I know me personally, oh my God, when I watched, what was that one that we watched?
Earthling, I think?
No, it wasn't Earthlings. It was, I don't know, man. It was even just the Aaron Janus's the chicken with the eggs in 5 minutes, man.
Right.
When I saw that video like 2.5 years ago or 2 years ago, man, that messed me up for a long time, man. And just like this horrible knot in my stomach, like really, really a bad feeling. Can you imagine having that every single day?
Yeah,
man, you'd age 30 years in 1 year.
Yeah, exactly. So don't let people think that you need to do something like that to, you know, be a good vegan or
be a good vegan.
Exactly. Like, but it is what, you know, people, you know, look up to these animal activists, and you know, they use people as examples and idols to emulate. And in my opinion, you know, you can take certain things that you like from different people and apply it into your life, into your own life, but you are you. And you should do things the way that works best for you, not what other people think you should do or what other people you look up to are doing.
And it's also worth mentioning that, for example, there are people that are able to watch these videos every single day just to stay vegan, and it doesn't necessarily hurt them. Like, you know, James Aspey, you know, dude, he is solid, man. Like, he really is solid. Like, when he went on the Logan Paul podcast, he absolutely, like, killed it. And he is someone that is constantly exposed in that kind, like, he's one of the most deeply involved people in that kind of scene in veganism, right?
Yeah.
And still, dude, that dude is super sane. He's super normal. He's super cool.
Positive.
He's not, he's positive. So if you can do that, then awesome.
Yeah.
But if you're a kind of person that maybe it will actually have an effect and like a negative effect on your health, I don't know, man. Like just kind of do what you think is right, but don't let it kind of kill you. Just kind of move on with life, because there's so many aspects in life.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to fail and slip up once in a while. Like, it's all about progression. Like, just eliminate the sense of perfection out of your life. Like, that's just bullshit. And and no one's perfect. You're never gonna reach it.
Yeah.
And you should not feel, ashamed of yourself for, slipping up and messing up. We're all, evolving every single day, and we all make mistakes. It's impossible not to. So just stay positive. That's the main thing. And I've never seen any movement, any great thing come out of hatred and trying to put people down and shame people. I don't think that's ever going to help the movement. And I strongly believe that. A lot of people say, no, we need all voices and all methods. And, to some extent, I do agree with that as well. But by far, I think the most impactful way to talk about these issues is through non-judgment and, more positivity and just embrace, the humans that we are, and just have an open mind and listen and come to, have healthy conversations rather than, aggressive debates and, wars back and forth. It's not helpful, I think.
Yeah. No, it's like my math teacher said, be kind, be gentle, be thoughtful, make the world a better place. Don't let others kind of decide how to live that for you. It sounds so cheesy, man, but it's just real. Like sometimes we just have to take a step back and get real, right? Just kind of...
Sometimes those little Instagram inspirational quotes, are actually true.
Yeah. Not that often, but sometimes, sometimes you can get an Instagram, one of those quotes. Follow
Never
your dreams.
sleep.
Yeah, follow your dreams.
Yeah.
Reach for the stars. What was it? Reach for the stars, because even if you fail, you'll still land among the clouds.
On that note, I think we got enough for today. Let us know what you thought about this format. I really enjoyed myself. I feel like we could talk for hours without a break, but the camera is messing up. So we're going to cut it here.
The camera can't take the heat.
Exactly. Too much drama going on. So let us know what you thought about this. Either, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're watching or listening in on iTunes, leave a review. And let us know what you thought about this episode. We'll try to do one more while Sergi's here. Hopefully, we'll make it happen. And thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
All
Peace
right.
out.
Bye-bye.